Welcome to the Bullvine Podcast, your go-to source for inside stories, cutting-edge research, and the latest updates in the world of dairy farming. For the 70th episode, we take a look at how to lower Thanksgiving dinner costs in 2024 affect dairy farmers. Are these savings good news or a hurdle for the dairy industry? So please grab a glass of milk, sit back, and let's get started with this week's episode.
Thanksgiving dinner costs have unexpectedly dipped for the second consecutive year, offering consumers a much-needed respite amidst broader economic pressures. The significance of this trend extends beyond the dining table, resonating with the realities faced by dairy farmers who play an integral role in the holiday feast. But what does this sustained expense drop mean for the dairy industry, especially when milk prices fall while cream prices rise? As dairy farmers and industry stakeholders digest these shifting numbers, the question remains, how will this affect the balance sheets of family-run farms across the nation and influence future market strategies? Thanksgiving dinner costs have dropped for 2 years in a row, a trend that speaks volumes in the current economic climate.
As Thanksgiving approaches, the American Farm Bureau Federation's Thanksgiving Dinner Survey reveals intriguing insights into the current grocery landscape. For the 39th consecutive year, consumers are given a snapshot of what they might expect to pay for their Thanksgiving staples, shedding light on favorable and challenging food expense changes. Overall, the survey reports a modest decline in costs, with the average price of the classic Thanksgiving dinner for 10 dropping to $58.08. A welcome 5% decrease from the previous year. Yet it's crucial to note that this significant decrease does not erase the dramatic rise witnessed over the past few years. Compared to pre-pandemic levels, these costs remain markedly higher, with current prices being 19% more than 5 years ago. This trend highlights the dynamic and often unpredictable nature of food pricing. A frequent Thanksgiving staple, the dairy sector has experienced a noteworthy mix of price shifts. Milk, a key component in many Thanksgiving desserts and sides, experienced a substantial 14% price reduction from last year, presenting rare relief for budget-conscious consumers. This drop starkly contrasts the broader inflationary trends that have beleaguered the dairy industry in recent years. In contrast, the cost of whipping cream, another dairy staple often used for holiday treats and desserts, saw an uptick. Its price climbed 4.47%, which could be attributed to variable production costs or shifts in consumer demand. These contrasting movements in dairy prices underscore the complex interplay of supply, demand, and external economic factors influencing the grocery market. In essence, the AFBF survey serves as a snapshot of the intricate economic forces at play, offering consumers a bit of reprieve in some areas, while reminding them of persistent challenges in others. This year's findings encourage a deeper reflection on how these trends impact our holiday traditions and the broader landscape of agricultural economics.
In the dynamic landscape of consumer behavior, retailers are dancing to the tune of inflationary pressures. These financial strains, squeezing the wallets of many, have prompted retail giants to weave enticing discounts and promotions into their Thanksgiving tapestry creatively. But it's more than a sales tactic. It's a strategic move to sway consumer demand, a potent force that shapes market trends and ripples through sectors like dairy. This year, Target's and Aldi's Thanksgiving strategies are testaments to agile retail strategies. Target, for instance, captured thrifty hearts by offering a Thanksgiving feast for 4 for a mere $20, a 20% reduction from last year's pricing. Not to be outdone, Aldi offered its holiday spread at $4.70 per person, the lowest in a decade, even undercutting Walmart's pre-bundled meal. These maneuvers attract inflation-weary consumers and showcase an adaptive approach to market demands. Yet, the intricate dance of consumer demand fuels these pricing strategies. As grocery prices demonstrate downward mobility, consumers are regaining some purchasing power, prompting a shift in spending behavior. This shift pressures retailers to maintain competitive pricing lest they lose market share. And herein lies the impact on the dairy sector. As offerings like milk become more affordable, consumers' grocery choices could pivot towards increased dairy consumption, influencing demand and prices for dairy farmers and producers. Through such strategies, retailers are engaging in a delicate balancing act that dances between the desires of the consumer and the harsh light of inflation, all while keeping an eye on how these strategies reverberate through sectors like dairy, shaping the economic pulse of household staples. In this dance of discounts, the beneficiaries are as varied as the strategies employed, with each party, consumer, retailer, and producer, finding their rhythm amidst the economic symphony of the season.
The current economic landscape is characterized by subtle yet significant shifts impacting consumer habits and farm economics. As of late 2024, food inflation, though stabilizing, continues to pose challenges to households. The year-over-year increase in food-at-home prices is a modest 1.1%, American Farm Bureau. This figure contrasts sharply with steeper hikes in other sectors like transportation and housing, where costs have surged by 8.2% and 4.9% respectively. Such disparities highlight the unique pressures facing both consumers and farmers. Diving into the dairy market, fluctuating costs reflect broader economic trends. Notably, whole milk prices have dropped by 14% compared to last year's figures, offering some respite to dairy buyers, American Farm Bureau Federation. In sharp contrast, whipping cream prices have nudged upwards by 4.47%. These shifts are crucial, as dairy products form a significant component of the Thanksgiving meal and directly influence overall cost perceptions at consumers' tables. These mixed signals in the market influence Thanksgiving dinner costs, which are now down 5% from last year. While some items, such as turkey and certain dairy products, have provided cost relief, the overall economic picture is framed by other expenses, like transportation and housing, that gobble up consumer budgets. Such dynamics mean that even as grocery costs ease slightly, families are juggling increased living expenses, coloring the holiday season with financial concern and cautious optimism.
Fluctuating prices and shifting consumer demand present a dual-edged sword for dairy farmers, posing significant challenges while opening doors for innovation. As milk prices nosedive, the immediate concern for farmers is managing cost structures that hinge on a stable market. The margins in dairy farming are razor-thin, and a 14% decrease, as seen this year, might delight consumers but constrain farm operations. This situation calls for efficient resource management and strategic financial planning. Yet, amid these challenges, opportunities for adaptation shine through. For instance, diversifying products beyond traditional offerings could cushion fluctuating prices. Could farms explore value-added products like cheese, butter, or yogurt to capture premium markets? Advances in dairy technology can enhance productivity and reduce costs. Implementing precision agriculture or adopting sustainable farming practices attracts eco-conscious consumers and can lower inputs and increase efficiency. Furthermore, the direct consumer-to-farmer sales model continues to gain traction. This could allow dairy farms to bypass volatile wholesale markets and establish a loyal customer base. How might your operation innovate within this transformative landscape? It's time for dairy professionals to harness these changes creatively, ensuring their operations.
The annual Thanksgiving dinner, a staple of American tradition, is at the intersection of fluctuating market dynamics and consumer expectations. This year, the slight decrease in overall dinner costs offers a temporary respite from the financial burdens exacerbated by years of inflation, albeit still high compared to pre-pandemic benchmarks. Dairy farmers, pivotal to this tradition, face mixed outcomes. Declining milk prices offer some relief, but reflect broader economic pressures that challenge production sustainability. The nuanced cost drop for dairy farmers highlights the need for strategic adaptation to unpredictable market forces. The ebb and flow of consumer trends, retailer strategies, and agricultural health paint a complex landscape, and understanding these shifts is crucial for navigating future uncertainties. As we look to the dairy industry's future, we must ask ourselves, how can stakeholders leverage these economic signals to build resilience and ensure profitability and sustainability, not just for Thanksgiving, but for every aspect of our agricultural practices?
Thank you for tuning in to the Bullvine Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's insightful discussion. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Catch you next time on the Bullvine Podcast, where bovine expertise and community come together.